Hello again from Survival State of Mind. Today I'm doing a film on mushrooms and how to use them for tinder. There's a lot of different types of mushrooms out there and a lot of cool ways to use them. One is to eat them, but I don't recommend you do that unless you belong to a group or you know exactly what you're doing. With mushrooms, however, though, I would recommend if you start to hunt mushrooms that you get this book. This book rocks. It's from David Aurora, and it's called Mushrooms Demystified. He's rewriting another one, but it's a pretty good book to help you identify different types of mushrooms. It takes a while to learn how to actually use this book. Again, I would recommend that you take a class. You find a mushroom federation around you or a fungus federation. Or a group around you, and usually you have experts that will actually give classes on this stuff. But a couple of mushrooms I'm going to talk about today. The first one, I'll give a close-up of this one, is it like a shelf mushroom. It grows on a tree and it looks kind of like a shelf. And this one's called Poria corticola or boring poria. This particular mushroom is burns great by itself. You know, so when you slice a piece of it off, it'll actually burn into a coal by itself fairly well. What I want to try with these mushrooms, however, today is to actually char them and see how they worked after they've been charred, kind of like char cloth. This mushroom has a consistency of softwood, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's not mushy, it is hard, it has a hard surface. However, it can be cut fairly well. The next mushroom I'm going to mess around with today is called the Daldenia grandis, and it's also referred to as cramp balls. Indians of the northwest here use these mushrooms, and you can see they're black and porous, very interesting. They look like kind of like lumps of coal or maybe rabbit turds. I don't know. But these Indians, the Indian women would use these. They would put them underneath their armpits to help relieve menstrual cramps. Now, I don't know if it works, and I really can't try it. I've asked my wife to give it a shot, and she said no. So you're going to have to try it on your own. But this one happens to be very much like charcoal. Listen, when I hit on it, you can see chips breaking off. Now this one, when I hit on it, big difference in the sound. Big difference in the sound. And when you go to slice this, it actually crumbles like charcoal. It too does burn by itself and produces a nice little coal so you can get a fire started. However, you really need to put a direct flame to it to get it started. You could grind this particular one up and put sparks to it, and it would give you a little bit of a coal as well. But again, I want to char these and see how they work charred. Okay, so what I've done with the Poria corticola, or the boring poria, is I've actually sliced it into about 1/4 inch slices. And I'm going to char it separately from the other mushroom or fungus, simply because of the consistency. I think the charring times are going to be different, so I don't want to put them together. That's why I've sliced this one, and you're able to slice this one. I won't be able to slice the other one. I'll have to put the other ones in whole, and that's the cramp balls that I'm referring to. I did a video on making char cloth. I use an Altoids tin. The tin itself, I don't actually poke holes in it. I allow the back of the tin as the vent where the hinges are, and you can see the smoke starting to come out already. But you're going to want to watch this and make sure that when that smoke stops, the charring has actually stopped. So that's what we're watching for. You can see the smoke's coming out now, and I'll be back with you in a minute or two. The flame is still on, and it has, as you can see, stopped smoking in the back here. So what we're going to do is go ahead and turn the burner off. There she goes. And you want to make sure that your tin obviously cools down for a few minutes before you touch it. Wow, this stuff charred up really nice. Give you a close-up of it. It shrunk considerably, so there was a lot of moisture content. Let's see how it lights. Ah, look at that. Fantastic charred. It burns like this somewhat by itself. However, it's getting a little hot. It is, it's better charred. So I'm going to put it out. Okay, now for the Daldina Grandis. Now, as I said before, I'm not gonna chop these up simply because they crumble, just like charcoal. These are the cramp balls that as another name. So I'm just gonna put them in their hole, and these actually grow on the trees just like this. They look exactly like this, growing on I believe it's oak. And other dead trees. If you see this on a tree, it's not going to make it. But I'm going to break that one in half. Okay. We'll go ahead and place these on the flame. Okay, I've seen no smoke come out of these yet. Ah, there we go. Never mind. They've been sitting here quite a bit longer than the first mushroom, and they're just now beginning to smoke. The other mushroom took about, I want to say, 5 minutes to char. This one's probably going to take a lot longer to char. I'm just starting to see the smoke come out of the back, which is a good sign. All right, well, here's the cramp balls. They bubbled out some goo from the top that seems to have crystallized. Let's go ahead and light one piece and see if it works like char. Works quite well as char. There's a piece that's lit, and you can see how it's burning very well. It's burning much better as a piece of char than it did by itself. So we have a success here on charring both types of mushroom. I think they're great alternatives for lighting a fire out in the wilderness if you need it, and a great alternative to char cloth. And I'm going to use them. Successful experiment. Bye now.